do that for you.
Correct.
The
That's why you
guru
have
slaves.
indentured servants.
Exactly.
You want a roof
Then
over
I
your
had
head? Go shovel the snow.
love it. I'm taking notes here. Great, great, great parental advice. Yeah, I love that. So, well, folks, I guess we'll see you on Tuesday morning again. Thanks for showing up. Over the weekend, have a look at what's happening. News will be very important about how people are feeling this, I think, because the overall sentiment will change or just be increased over the weekend. So that's one thing. But 007, you used to say something about Buffett. You mind sharing that with us again?
Oh yeah. Actually, I also wanted to ask Byron too, because he's been really good at picking leaps and stuff. I was gonna ask him, what would he pick in this environment? But to go back to Guru's thing as well, um, usually at times like this, when the market is very fearful, Warren Buffett would say, "Hey, you want to buy when everybody is scared as hell, and you want to start, kind of selling when everybody was greedy," which was kind of like last week and everybody, during Christmas rally and things like that, or last month. So we're now at a point where everybody's like, "Oh no, the sky is falling." But I think at the same time, if you know what stocks you like, you know what values there are, you might find values here. And I'll leave that to Byron, see if he has some gems for us.
It's funny that you actually say that, because it's a cloudy with a chance of meatballs is what I like to say, because it's a good show. But as far as leaps go, believe it or not, yesterday when Piton dropped drastically, I purchased some 30 calls for January 2023, and I'm currently up $170.
Wow.
So to me, Piton, yeah, it was more like a pandemic stock, but you have to look at the big grand scheme of things, exercise bikes or treadmills or whatever. They're not going anywhere. They could always come up with a version 2 that's cheaper to offset it. Look at Apple for an example. You have your Apple iPad Pro, then you have a mid tier, and then you have a lower tier. So I can see them ramping up production to kind of doing something mid tier to help, bring more people into the company, to have more Peloton bikes, whatever, into people's houses. But I also feel like down the road, I know that there's in our little Twitter social media concepts, a lot of people have even talked about the potential of Nike, Apple, and even Lululemon potentially buying them out, which would be interesting to see if that would actually come true. But that wasn't one of the driven factors of me wanting to actually get into the leap. Personally, I feel like there's tons of value still within the stock, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of wealthy individuals that are going to start bringing this back up, like we like the stock. but that is one that I've definitely been watching. PFE, Pfizer. I don't know if you look at any of the bio FDA approval stuff, but they have something coming out on the 24th for HIV that I'm quite interested to see if it's going to be fully approved or not. If that happens, along with all the COVID news and stuff, that could potentially come out. It's just going to go up from there. So those are two that I am personally watching. So I'm in Piton, but I'm watching Pfizer.
I like that.
Remember, folks, Byron is extremely good at finding the trades of the lost cause whenever something is completely below what everyone is usually expecting. He's the one that looks at it, and usually he's pretty good at finding all these overextended plays. And we've talked a lot about the Neo play that you called last year, and I think you've called many from that bottom. So thanks for sharing that with us. So what's are you looking at the January 2023?
Yeah, so I have the 2023 version for January, a 30 call for Piton. The other stock that I've been watching nonstop, I know I've pissed Guru off with it, is Snow. I always tell him when it's the good and bad news. Like this week, I played some Snow puts just yesterday, paid $160, sold it this morning for almost 2,000 a piece. Just ran hard, but that's one ticker I want to get with JTW one of these days to fine tune some NTS on it, because I feel like there's a lot of potential, because a lot of the growth on that ticker itself each day presents a both bullish and bearish run, so you can play both sides daily on it. So
Yeah, I've
Well, if
got
you look
some.
at
I got some answers to send you in your. I'll light up your DMs with some stuff.
like a Christmas
if
tree.
you look if you look at the 5 minute chart on that one, is toppy at 297, and I guess you're right. Every time you reach the top of the channel, you can go for puts.
But then again, it looks like Guru is playing Snow better than I am, but the real Snow. Go shovel your driveway.
But okay, folks. While I'll do that, I'll wish you a very, very good weekend. Unfortunately, this time is not a long weekend, but stay safe, stay warm, and I guess I'll catch you on Tuesday morning.
Absolutely. Everybody have a great day. Have a good weekend.
Likewise. Take care.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks for hopping in, folks.
What's up, Beefy? What's going on? Let's see. Let's catch back to the comments. Fiat World Copper Magic. Amazon blew through, huh? Today was nuts. I'm trying to see if we can find some value in some of the tickers. Got salary cuts from the stocks. Ouch. It was a fantastic day. Oh man, this guy must have been shorting like crazy. Good afternoon, Mario. How you doing? You cut all your Apple shares? I don't think my Apple hit my stop loss yet. I remember putting a trailing stop loss a while back. And the last time I checked, it was somewhere around like 135, 140s area. I'm not sure if we're at a point where I'm probably still in the Apple trade. Maybe I'll manually cut it, but I'm just gonna let the stop loss do its things. You know, if it hits the stop loss and it breaks under, the 147 level, then so be it. So be it. I might never own Apple for the next few years. Who knows? But the market's definitely moving at a very interesting pace. We're seeing some things that could potentially be at great bottoms, but at the same time, hey, they were the same thing that we thought were at great bottoms the week before, right? Like look at Microsoft. I remember looking at Microsoft last week and man, or maybe 2 weeks ago, we were looking at Microsoft and we're like, oh man, Microsoft's been so strong, so resilient. There's probably a good chance they would bounce off this possible bottom here, and they just absolutely cut through. So once they cut through here, the next level that that we're waiting for is just, coming back down to here, to maybe 290s area before we get another bounce. The trend line, though, is actually at 286. So that could mean that we have more room to go on some of these big tickers. Another one I was looking at that I thought was pretty interesting was Starbucks. We almost came down pretty hard. Starbucks had a triple top rejection over here. Thought maybe it had a chance to pick up the trend line there. It didn't happen. There was also another trend line here on the bottom side that also didn't get picked up, so we absolutely just cut through both of them. And and now we're over here. Starbucks is almost back to 2020 levels. Would you guys pick up Starbucks at 2020 levels? What do you guys think? Let me see how Starbucks is doing. Huh. You know what? Starbucks actually made pretty decent money last year. They actually finished off 2021 pretty good. Let me see here. Not right now. No, I wouldn't. Waiting for a nice dip on Ulta Beauty. Oh, I haven't looked at this ticker in a long time. The White Girl Index tickers. Not with an environment that's looking fine inflation, top or bottom, same with wages. Hey, what's up, man? How's the martini today? Shaking the stir. Ooh. I'll be honest with you. I actually got smacked pretty hard today, with the way the market went. So earlier this week, I posted the market outlooks because usually every Sunday, as a trader, every Sunday I try to be prepared for the market and try to kind of figure out, where the direction of the market was going. So this Sunday, I knew financial was a short. I knew we were looking for that 3960 area. We talked about the possibility of this dollar index moving, right? So to kind of recap on that, we talked about the possibility of the dollar index moving up and the Qs on this downtrend. However, I didn't think Qs was going to break this downtrend line here. I thought we were going to potentially bounce off a little bit, that cap bounce at some point, to this 380 area, but that didn't happen. And then we have the SPY S&P 500 over here. So it was a risk off week, possible double bottom setup. If we were looking for bullish scenarios and need to stay above 457 to stay bullish, good area to nibble longs position for 1 month out, but don't go heavy, right? So that was my expectation coming into this week, and you can kind of see how the XLF play out. XLF, we're looking for that down move, and XLF play out perfectly. So the short on the XOF this week worked out for me, but SPY, I didn't anticipate us breaking down that pattern so quickly and so fast. The original probability was possibly doing a small bounce here, but now we're completely going into bearish territory on both the Qs and the SPYs. So because of that, I didn't expect us, breaking down. I thought we were gonna chop for a little bit, so I had overexposed myself to positions on this other ticker, SGH, that was having a split soon. You know, I overexposed myself thinking that same double bottom was gonna play out on this as it was playing out on SPY, and because of that overexposure, regardless of how much hedge I have, I couldn't have hedge against this drop here. So that kind of messed me up for this week. Actually, probably one of the few weeks no, this is probably one of the first weeks in a while where I'm gonna close on the net negative side, where I usually end up closing net positive. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Let me catch up on the comments. So I was definitely pretty messed up today. I was definitely stirred. I had to really sit back and look at the whole market direction, and really had to sit there and think about, you know, whether fundamentals was gonna come back to play or not. Fiat World says I have 445 puts expiring this upcoming Wednesday. So 75% of them, perch 50, SPY 218 for 70s. Was that today? You're expecting the bounce, right? That makes sense. I wonder what you think about Peloton. Dead cat bounce or reversal? That's a great question. Let's take a look at that. I think I covered a little bit about Peloton yesterday. You know, we talked about what their business model was and stuff, and how if you read the initial reports from the IPO, you would know that they were actually built and designed for community gyms and things like that, but hotels and whatnot, but not necessarily directly, you know, marketing to consumers. But their plan got accelerated 5 years forward, just simply due to COVID, you know. So the stock price went 5 year forward as well. And now it's coming to the end of that supposed 5 year cycle on their original business plan, because they expanded so fast. And if you know, if you guys have ran the business before, you know that it's almost near impossible to estimate the supply and demand issue, because when you have a company and you're getting crazy pre-orders, you know, the next thing you're trying to do is trying to fulfill those pre-orders as fast as you can, right? Because you think these pre-orders are going to keep coming, so you're going to keep trying to fulfill these pre-orders. But initially you're not going to, you know, try to double your production. You're just going to try to fulfill them. But then as you see the pre-orders come in back to back, quarter after quarter, for 2-3 quarters, now at this point you're going to be like, you know what, let me try to get ahead of these pre-orders, because these pre-orders are coming nonstop. And once you do that, and then the pre-orders stop coming in, you have a weak call where, you know, remember what happened with the bikes, kill some kids or whatever. And you know, it was a tragic event. um and it was a huge flaw, and they had to do a weak call, and they end up losing a bunch of their revenue and profit. So things went real quick for them on that side. They went from expanding company to a contracting company. Now with interest rate and everything going up, they can't borrow as much money to keep their loans and everything going. They're in real trouble. So the other thing is, keep in mind, they were never profitable. That's the other thing they had. They were never profitable. Despite how expensive they were selling their bikes at, they never got to profitability. And they should have to. Well, they almost did. They almost did. These 3 quarters, they were profitable, but they couldn't finish the year profitable. And now they're going back to how they were losing money in 2019. So at this point, the cat bounce a reversal. I think that's gonna depend a lot on what their, you know, what the situation with the interest rate is. If they're gonna really continue to raise the interest rate, then it's gonna be tough for them to reverse from here, even though they're trading at very low price to sales ratios. So you look at Peloton, they're trading at 1.7 price to sales. You know, are these sales going to keep going up, or are these sales contracting? If these sales are contracting, then this number is going to get higher and higher in multiple, then the stock price will need to get lower. So those are things that you have to wait out. So at the point before, they were having 120% growth, revenue growth in 1 year estimate. That could come down to a lot less. So with that said, I could see us dead cat bounce, maybe to the 40s areas possibly. Let's look at the half-day chart. Maybe even to probably $40 area. I could see them come back to that. At the cat bounce to that, maybe they have to clear $31 first, and then maybe 40, and then after that, it might just come back down again. I think even when they IPO pretty high too. Have your Amazon shares averaged 19,000 on 1,900? Holding for 2 years. Not sure if I need to cut here. Any suggestions? Are we talking about? Hey, what's up, CP? Are we talking about a few hundred shares or just a few shares? If you have a few shares, I would do the same thing that I am doing with Apple. So let's take a look at Amazon, right? I'll show you what to do. So if you're looking at Amazon, and you have a few big shares and stuff, and you're not sure what to do, and this is at a point where you need to put stop losses. So anytime I have a stock in my portfolio that I really, really like and I don't want to lose, I usually put a trailing 30% stop loss, which means like if let's say it hit like, this top over here, 3,700, every time the stock goes up, it moves the stop loss 30% up, right? So once it peaks like 37, what is this? 37.64, it would put a stop loss around 26.30s. So I would say that's probably where your next level, because look, Amazon is already at at the max support that could be at right here, on the daily chart. I mean, I can't really see it. I can't really fathom it, moving much below that. So obviously we're at the point where if we drop any further, what's the next big level on the weekly chart? 2,400. If we drop that, if we drop under this, 200 average here, which is 2,400, where else can it go? Right? Where else can it go? So, I mean, if you got at 2,000, if you got at 1,900, you got to ask yourself, where will you be willing to go? Put a trailing stop loss in. If it drops another 10%, then things are probably not going to come back as well. And we all know that Amazon is not going to have a great earning next quarter either. They literally told us that themselves. They literally told us that. SOXL, big loss. Damn, that sucks. So SGH, next big support. Next area of support is the yellow line here, MOB at $55, $55.50. The area after that is 48.49. So that's probably where I would buy. I mean, me personally, I'm gonna hold it till close to the split day, because usually something would get manipulated at that point or another, and they could possibly run. But if you guys already got stop out of that tray, then just wait till next support to pick it up and just play accordingly to the tray. Overall, at the end of the day, I knew getting into that tray, I liked the company. I knew they were making good money. They didn't have much production issues, and they were continuing to make good money. So I knew going into that trade fundamentally, I was confident in owning that stock. I wouldn't mind owning it. So, like you can see it here, 2021, they lost, 1 million, and over here they made 21. So they've been having good quarters. They continue to make money. And I just don't see them slowing down. They're having some of the best quarters ever. And I think the whole semiconductor industry is going to be pretty resilient, but we do have some that are huge high flyers, like things like Nvidia, and where people got too excited about what they could do with the possibility of AI, and then people kind of traded Nvidia like they traded Tesla to crazy high valuations. So I'm not necessarily dipping. I'm gonna probably keep adding on the way, but depending on how your portfolio and what your cash position is, diversify and play accordingly. But I did have some put spreads that expire. That's gonna expire worthless. I mean, for Peloton, there's a rumor doing around that Apple may buy it. Nothing back to it yet. I mean, yeah, anybody could buy it. Hey, even Facebook could buy it. Imagine Oculus 2, Oculus Quest 2 plus Peloton. Yo, you're not just on a bike anymore. You're on a bike in VR. What's good? Can you imagine? That'd be pretty cool. I mean, look, so one of you guys was telling me about VR. Was a Lifesaver, the game you guys told me last week. Totally convinced me. I went out and bought a Quest 2 last weekend. What's up, Hazard? Yo, Hazard with the crypto yesterday. He came on the stream. He was like, he or she, I'm not even sure actually. He's got a nice little cute cat pic. But Hazard came on the stream last night and he was like, the general market is dropping. Crypto market must be dropping as well, right? And we sat there thought for a minute. I was like, hell yeah, man. Went and shorted some SI Bank and some Coinbase and saved my account on that drop, man. and after hours toward the end of the stream, crypto market literally started flooding. So we are at a key level here. We have a trend line support here, just like that same trend line support that we kind of have on SPY, I guess. If we break that support around 38,000, we will easily liquidate down here to the 29,000. It will liquidate real quick because the thing with crypto market is there's so many people trading on margins. When it goes pew. It literally goes down so hard. I bought them at close, looking for a bounce, purchase at 0.5 each. Think we can still go down a little bit more, but not by much. 3,000 a bounce I'm looking for. 100%, I agree. I think we're gonna chop. Peloton going to 13. Ooh, Fiat World saying they're worthless. Hey, yo, just because you guys are pretty bearish on Peloton, don't try to short it too much because, just because everything looks like doom and gloom for them, you got to be careful. Sometimes they can short squeeze as well. A lot of serious support broken across the market. What's up, Aquatic? You're completely right. There was a lot of support. Supports got broken across big tickers as well. Amazon, Netflix, right? I think Facebook's at a support right now that could potentially get broken. Yeah, Facebook is at that another major support that get broken. Microsoft had the support broken already. What about Apple? Apple, not yet. Apple, still has room to go. That's why, to a certain extent, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I would feel confident. Usually, when markets pull back, these big tickers usually all pull back to the moving average support together. But for some reason, Microsoft has started to get disconnected. They just kept running weird. And then Apple took its time getting disconnected from the market, not pulling back and whatever, doing this weird thing. And then like Google is just completely pooping the bed right now at this point. So Facebook, a whole nother thing too, right? Facebook kind of lost it a while back and never really recovered. Like Facebook technically went into bearish territory a while back in September when Snapchat lost the bearish went into bearish territory. So it's kind of interesting to see how things play out. Yeah, when interest rate environment starts going up, market has no patience for these negative cash flow companies. Same thing with the cruises that I was talking about yesterday. TXN. Ouch. thoughts on Cure? Is Cure a stock? Oh, not sure if you've been following what Biden is talking about. It's kind of a little bit scary. Biden's actually they could potentially attack healthcare, um, because sometimes they want to like make healthcare cheaper or whatever, and that could be bad for healthcare. Yeah, if you want to add more to SGH, wait for that further level. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see Peloton a single digit in a year or two. Well, if you guys look at IPOs, right, of 2018, 2017, 2016, you will see a lot of IPOs that do things like that. I mean, some stuff I can think of are maybe like GoPro, where the IPO pretty high, and people thought like, oh, this stock is the thing, like I mean, 2015 when GoPro IPO, who didn't want a GoPro at that time? GoPro was the best, right? But then everybody came out with a knockoff and things like that, and then boom, look at it now. The company was trading equivalent to almost $100 at some point, high as $60 at some other point in 2015. Now nobody even want it for $9 at this point. So there's that. I think one of the other ones, Blue Apron. Let's see where they're at now. It was like a grocery home delivery service, and it was this is 2017 IPO, a Blue Apron. Everyone was like, oh, it's genius. Everybody's working so much now, nobody has time to make their food, so this company ships you all the prepared ingredients like together, and they give you the recipe, and you can make food yourself. Then they thought it was a good idea. People liked the idea for a while. They had, some customer growth, but then just completely end up dying across the board. So a lot of things, man. People always get too excited on IPOs, and I think we're going to see that on the 2020 IPO. So for some of you guys that think like some of these IPOs are never gonna go down, be very careful. Even things like like Unity, right? Like Unity, this was a great IPO. The stock went up. It is great. It's a great company. They do a lot of things, but when we look at these earnings, they aren't really like making the money that they should. Even Palantir, that was a huge IPO. A lot of people love it. You know, when they opened, they literally said, "Hey, we think the company's value around $10 based on the amount of money we're making and everything." And people drove it up to $30, $40. But things are finally coming back to the real valuation. Even AI, what a cool ticker, right? Crazy stuff. DKNG. Netflix back to 200. I'm not sure. Actually, let me show you Netflix. So I actually did do some dive into this. Because I asked myself, where would I buy Netflix? What I think their value is. And to answer that, I kind of look at the balance sheet, see what the current amount of assets they have, how much money and revenue they're making, right? So we're looking at Netflix. 2015, we're going to use 2015 as the baseline, okay? Um, at the end of 2015, toward the end, the company was trading around $130, right? Give or take 130, and trading as low as, let's say, 80, 82, right? Or 85. 130 and 85. So 130 and 85. And if you look at their revenue and like the assets and stuff, so go to the financials. Whoops. So we'll go to the assets from 2015 to now. So 2015, about $10 billion in assets. Right now they have about 40 billion, give or take. Or well, actually 2022 now. 2021 would have finished now. So they have more than that. They have about 42 billion in asset, right? So about 4.1, 4.2 times. And then, look at shareholder equity to see if there was much change there. So that was about 5 times. Look at revenue and profit. So went from 3 to about 15. So 4 to 5 times, right? So say 4 to 5 times, we're talking about $85 to like, let's say 120s, right? So on the lower baseline, 85 times 4x would put it around 340s. 120 times 4x would have put it around 480s. But who's to say at that time it wasn't overvalued as well? So if we were saying at that time it was overvalued as well, we'll look at the lowest multiple. We'll look at the lower side of that area, which is 85 times 4. That would put it around 340. So to say that it would kind of go under what do you say, $200? I don't know. That's gonna be hard. I mean, could the selling pressure take it there? Yeah, it could take it there. All the way down here, right? 230s, some support there. Could the selling pressure take it there? Yeah, for sure. The selling pressure could take it there if enough people get shook and they keep selling it off. But what I think the true value is, I think it's somewhere between 300 to 400s. Based on that quick dive that we just took a look at. But the other thing that a lot of people don't think about when we're talking about fundamentals and PEs and stuff as well is that when you're looking at PEs, you always constantly look at the sector and the current situation, right? Now, if currently people are okay with 100 price to earnings or like 30 price to earnings for the stock, then people don't mind the stock trading at 100x because they're forward looking, right? They don't mind it at 45, 39 or whatever. But if people start, like, if economies start going into recession, people won't be as forward looking. They're gonna be like starting to look for real value. So instead of stocks trading at 40 or 50x, they're gonna be looking at stocks that are only trading at 10x or 5x at this point, because that's what naturally they should be looking at. How could you see a stock trading at 40x? They would have to have ridiculous revenue growth year over year to be predicting them trading at 40x, because how many years would it take them to make 40 times that current revenue? That's another thing that I think a lot of people have to put some thoughts behind. DRN. So hopefully you guys put that into thoughts when you're investing and looking back at some of your long-term portfolio, because that long-term port is going to be very important. MasterCard broke 360 support today and closed back into the old channel for the first time since it broke out 3 weeks ago. Let's see. Real estate bull 3x. So the real estate sector, the ETF. There's a few ETFs, right? One of the real estate ETF hasn't really recovered despite real estate flying all-time high, and also home builder ETF was also moving really high, was because they knew that the real estate is being propped up because there's the eviction moratorium situation that they keep kicking further and further down the line. So they're now that they're raising the interest rate, people are really finally going to get squeezed on the mortgage, and people that bought houses last year when they have no freaking reason to be buying a house because they just didn't have enough reserve cash left over, are going to start seeing the pain, especially if they're trying to rent it out to people, but people don't want to rent it or something like that, or if their expenses across the board went up in terms of food prices and things because of inflation, but they can't collect as much rent, so it's going to be a tricky situation here, but that's looking further in long term though. So MasterCard 2020 levels was around 346. Wow. In November, it was trading under, came back, went over. They have earnings coming up, so they said estimate is 5.17. EPS is 2.21. How is that compared to last quarter's? More. How is that compared to the previous quarters? A lot more. How is that compared to last year? A lot more. So this earnings is supposed to be a good earnings for them, but at the same time, we also need to see the guidance as well. And if interest rates are going up, people might not want to spend as much. So I think that's going to be the key here. Just trying to see what Powell is going to say. The narrative has definitely changed to interest rate is going up. And when interest rate goes up, it means the economy is going to slow down. I think that's the big key narrative that we got to start looking at. Hey, what's up, Pioneer? Any thoughts on Tesla, or did you cover that already? Tesla is a really tricky one. We talked a little bit about that on the podcast. As far as technical levels, we'll take a look at Tesla on the technical levels, right? So as far as technical levels, Tesla is at the MOB line here, which is right here. If it were to bounce, this would be a good area for the bounce. And we know Tesla. We talked about Tesla last week as well, and we have said that Tesla is like Creamer in Seinfeld. It can do whatever it wants. It can either break up or break down really quick, and when it does it, it's gonna explode. So if we get like Fiat World said before, like we thought that the market is gonna have a dead cat bounce, right? If we think the market is gonna have a dead cat bounce, I would not be surprised to see Tesla participate in that dead cat bounce. So where do we think it could bounce to if it does participate in this bounce? Probably back to this line here, this red line here at $1,000. Predicting their earnings is easy, almost, I think, because they have released so much numbers. Tesla is actually one of the only companies, one of the few companies that literally tells you what their earnings is gonna be. They give you enough data sets that you can figure that out. So I think we can all price in for an earnings beat. The only problem is we have no clue what the guidance is gonna be. Just like how we knew for a fact that Netflix was gonna price in for earnings beat, right? But we had no clue that they were gonna miss that guidance so far off, and just so bad, right? So that's what I think is gonna happen to Tesla. We know they're gonna beat. They said they had really good numbers, so I'll show you. What I'm talking about. Tesla delivery numbers. So there's this website called Electric. They have really good. They keep really good track of Tesla. Amazing track record for Tesla. You can find really good data from them if you want to look up data on Tesla. Tommy says 4 billion dark blueprint on SPY. Which side? Which direction? But in some ways, isn't it just that a narrative? I've been alive long enough to remember 7%, 8% for mortgages. I know my parents' days, they were far higher than that. Oh yeah, for sure. There was a point where interest rate, I think, was like over 10+%. And because of that, mortgage interest rates are always pricing higher, right? So if natural regular interest rates are going high, mortgage interest rates are going higher than that. So even right now, I think mortgage interest rate was at 3.6 at the lows, probably at 4.4 to 4.5 right now. But these things go up and down. You could they'll be okay. But at the same time, we also have to kind of listen to the narrative and play the narrative as well, because if they're gonna push the general narrative to the market that, hey guys, interest rate is gonna go up, we need to stop spending and things like that, then we gotta be like, oh snap, what they're telling us here is that the economy is going to contract and slow down. We need to listen to that narrative and play the market accordingly. We can't continue to buy the dip anymore. We need to look to short the rips at this point. So that's something we have to kind of remember as well. Nasty Nate, yes, that does look like a head and shoulder in Tesla. 2 to 3% mortgage is what we have for like a decade. 0% financing for up to 2 or 3%. Come on, we had 10% finance chart for vehicles in the 80s, 90s, and people survived. Some great isn't. Yeah, for sure. But the market now moves big on narrative, especially with so many retails in the market, and everybody listens to like CNBC and Bloomberg. But actually, I think interest rate on financing is actually pretty bad on vehicles right now. I know some people are paying like 17 to 20%. Because they have bad interest rates. I mean, because bad credit scores. I think there's only a few of us that's really fortunate, and we have like excellent credit scores where we're not paying that much. Let me see what these links you guys are sending me. Nancy is over here. Yeah, guys, you gotta buy the dip. You want me to tell Papa Powell to not raise the interest rate? Okay, I will tell this bozo. For 440 is a major support and gamma level, and also 200 on SPX. So it breaks, we're going lower. That is true. I'm pretty sure Guru probably covered this already, because we talked a little bit about that as well. How we're at the 200 SMA on the SPY and SPX. There's a lot of fear. I agree. What do you got for over here? Pacifics? No. What ticker is this? The S&P on the weekly? It's a fat candle, but usually fat candles are followed by fat candles as well. Fatter candles too. Watch that over here. That's also something you got to be mindful for. It could either be one of these or one of these. But I'll show you something even better. So, talking about the SPX, right, on that tweet. So XPX really hits the 200. Usually when it does hit the 200, it does bounce pretty well. So we had that over here. So that's where it's heading right now. Also a big area for point of control as well. So the other two time we hit it was over here and here. And we also bounce off it. So we rarely lose the 200. Even when we do lose it, we typically come back to back test too. So that's a normal thing. And we bounced off this other time over here. So the 200 is a pretty essential level. We rarely ever lose it. Usually when we come off the cliff long enough, big enough to hit the 200, we usually do bounce. So I do think we are going to get a bounce today. Let me catch up on the comments. Nice. What's up, Mass Appeal? Which names show relative looking at greens today? I see CowerMax, DayDI, TXN, BBY. You know what? That's a good question. We'll take a look at the market bubble today. Oh yeah, for sure. They gotta make money. Yeah, but what if people default though? Yeah, we know the direction of that dark pool now, I think, in a way. Kathy should shut her arc. Maybe. I think the thing is she said too much, and I mean you gotta at least respect her in a way, because at least Kathy doesn't flip flop, right? She says she believed in technology, she thought they were the future, and and she stayed true to that. She just kept buying the dip. She thought crypto was the dip. She bought the dip. She thought these bio whatever things, geo stuff was the dip. She bought them. So at least she stayed true to her narrative. So I respect that, man. But is her fun always buying at all-time highs? Yeah, she's a grandma, bro. She's a grandma. She don't know no TA, man. When she sees the RSI 100, she's like, this stock is showing relatively strength today. Let me buy because the stock is showing relative strength. They love high RSIs. I mean, if you look at technical analysis, they'll tell you you should be buying the high RSIs. Because that means there's strength in the stock. No, I didn't see this. You're welcome to throw it here if you like. Let's look at the market bubble. Let's see if we can find some opportunities. Let's look at the map and see what is the worst performing stocks in 1 month. So we thought we saw a big drop today, right? But did we really see a big drop? Because we're looking at the 1 month performance, and let's see, the reddest one for this month, DGX, drop about 20%. MCO, MSCI, some financials and stock exchange. Oh my gosh. Every single one of Kathy's top holdings are dead right now. Hopefully she's buying more. Oh yeah, you're completely right, Fiat World. I think Kathy was actually I said this before too, I think she's a genius. I thought that she was a genius because she found way to preach to the market. She was one of the few hedge fund managers that was able to return 100% plus return in 2021, when every other hedge fund manager would be lucky to make more than 30%. So she did a phenomenal job last year, man. But hey, like I have also told you guys before, just because somebody like a star player, like whether it's like Jordan or Curry or LeBron, just because these guys are one of the best player in the game right now doesn't mean they're gonna consistently be the best player in the game every year. They will eventually get weak. They will eventually, slow down. They'll eventually get old, and they will eventually, make the wrong decisions. So that's just what's happening to Kathy right now. Obviously, she had such a great year. It's gonna be extremely hard for her to outperform her previous years. But yeah, Kip is also right in this too. Like, when most people miss Kathy, she she's only buying these things because she believes in the long term. She thinks it's the future, and as long as she's looking at their financials correctly, and she's really buying the stocks based on how well their financials and how much they can perform, and she has inside information on that, she will probably be okay. What's up, SB Jugs? Always a good place to find out what to short next. That's true. They could be attacking her too. The crypto just liquidated. Oh, smack. Oh, snap. Fiat World, I don't think we're getting that bounce. Your boy is about to add some more to this crypto short. Damn, I should have added the Damn, Tommy, it's over. It's over, Tommy. That's so true, SV Jugs. Everyone is a genius in the bull market. I remember there were a lot of people that outperformed me in 2020 and 2021 when things were just going to the moon. Like, as so many people just outperformed me, they were making 100%, 200% for the year. And I was just like, damn, I'm sitting here barely struggling to make 50%, like in the long-term portfolio. But people were just crazy outperforming because it was just too easy. You could make the dumbest pick and just run up. Yeah, a lot of hedge funds, they play both directions, right? They play strangles. So when they play strangles a lot, it's very, very hard for them to pull more than 30% profits. Let's Uber downtown. Oh wow. Imagine this coming to $3. I'm sorry, Fiat World, man. It's over for you, bro. It's over. Your longs just got donezo. Hmm. Damn, I got this COVID cough, man. That's still lingering me. Madanos will not hire any individual that have held, traded, or sold cryptocurrency. If you overlay crypto side, they move similar. Yeah, 100%. We said this on stream too, about this, because once they made the futures for BTC available in the CBOE market, that pretty much gave hedge funds access to crypto, and they manipulated the same way they're manipulating the market. So we're actually having this double top move, and we're coming down. We just broke that line here. So our next area of support is going to be around that 29,000 to 31,000 area. And if that doesn't hold, oh, oh my gosh, man. We would die, brother. We would die. I would prefer trading BTC instead of Monster. Monster trades the interest and value of the BTC holding. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm only shorting the stock tickers because I'm trying to hedge my stock account. I don't want to log into my crypto account right now and then try to short. Yeah, they only, like, they're always 3 months behind. Yeah, I mean, I've always traded like fundamentally, and and it really made me question myself that, like the last year or two, I really had to question myself. I was like, man, fundamental doesn't make sense right now. I need to just straight up be technical and not even care about tech fundamentals. But now we're at a point where you got to care about both again. So it's good. It's good to have that back a little bit. Sorry for the long-term port, Fiat World. I was just messing around, man. McDonald labor shortage should become real. You think so? McDonald's already did such a good job with the laborers, though. They already essentially replaced half the workers with the cashiers, with the robot cashiers. Have a good weekend, Kip. Take care, man. We pray for you. I thought about that too last night. Last night when we came down to this level, and an S&P 500 broke it, right? Because you know how we went into bearishness over here, right? In that SPY. So once we broke that level on SPY over here, I was looking, I was like, man, you know what? Like, I don't mind holding some of my crypto, but we're also at such pivotal levels in SPY that if crypto drops, the next area is going to be here in crypto. So we hit that area yesterday. I sold off like over here around that $40,000 area. And then once we hit over 38, I wasn't even confident buying because look at the signals that we're getting in the RSI say. We're getting the crossover here. That can't be ignored. We're still pretty weak on the over here. So which means if we replicate this move, we replicate the same move that we have here, we're probably going to grind down a little bit further to here, which is the 30,000. So that's the next area I'd be confident or okay-ish buying. But as of right now, I'm not. I think that's where we're going to hit next. I mean, you can still, this is probably an area where you can probably still add some SPXS as well. If you want to hedge those SPY costs, SPXS, which is the bear ETF, could help out, especially with the direction crypto is going. Is there a crypto ETF that we can short? Is there like an inverse crypto ETF? Damn. If only it was so easy. Oh, there's gotta be a micro futures. Maybe there's a micro futures for Bitcoin. Ooh, there is a micro futures. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Damn. That's because people know. People know that people are hedging. That's why. Hmm. I thought about going long on SPXX. But then I'm not really sure if that's the right move. Because it's already moved up so much. Let me see what's the hottest ticker this week. It's not enough yet. So there were a few anomalies, LVX and the EA in take 2. How green was TXN? Take 2 interactive is at the moving average here. I think it was just opening really low from last day. It's not really green, it's fake green. Something is gonna happen over the weekend at this point, huh? Carnival's already hit the first move here. Next move is the 18s. Yeah, I'm gonna take some shorts on this. Oh my god, your sister's still bag holding that? Oh god, you're evil, bro. How could you do that to her? Let me see if I can add, I'm gonna add some shorts on this, actually. Because I need more hedge. LVS. Did you see how many cruises got canceled in the last few days? Where's LVS? 43.74. Oh, I have a video for her. Send her this video. Where's that video? Yo, here you go, man. Send her this video. Oh, snap. I think I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. I gotta make some moves on the positions based on this crypto moves, because lately the crypto has been moving with the market, and this is a pretty significant move here, breaking under that 37,000 area. So unless we can reclaim it over the weekend, I don't know, it's gonna be pretty scary. But typically, crypto has been pretty bearish over the weekend. If people are getting liquidated at the point right now, knowing crypto, the liquidation is gonna get even worse, and it's probably gonna carry people down here, because crypto liquidation is way worse than stock liquidations. Because in stock market, people can't 10x, but in crypto, they can use 10 times the buying power when they shouldn't. So good luck, guys. Have a good weekend. Hopefully, you guys will be okay over the weekend. But just remember that if the market is bad, sometimes the best move is no move. Sometimes the best move is sit on hand as well. Take care, guys, and have a good night.